This is Kobe with the Phoenix Hip Hop Podcast, and I have a guest that I've been trying to get on for a minute now, and it's DoneOne TheFinisher. How you doing?
That's what's up. Hey, man, thank you for having me here. It's a great platform to be on. It's a great day, man. How you doing today?
Doing well, yeah. I've been sort of passively on and off following you for a while now because I've been going to shows at Trill for years, and so
Right.
my intro to you was not just as an artist, but as a host of many of the shows at Trill, which I have to tell you right now, like you're so amazing at that.
Thank you.
I'm a quiet, introverted, person, and so like when I see someone do
You
what
got me fooled. I wouldn't have known that,
when
fool.
when I see you do what you do, I'm like, dang, amazing. So like I wanted to ask you. I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions, but
Right.
first and foremost, how did you get into playing like the role of a host?
Well, that's an interesting question. It just kind of felt natural. I'm a natural, funny person. People that really know me know who I am and my character, and I want to see everybody win.
Okay.
If y'all are winning, I'm winning. If the circle's winning, someone's winning. So who's winning? Everyone, all the time. So with that said, shout outs to Trill, to Chuck, to Ali, to Dumper, to Draysky, to all the homies there at Trill because they make it happen. You know what I mean? I just wanted to bring something to the table for the shop. You bring that up, and that whole thing, that moniker, and that era was JJ the King of Hip Hop.
Okay.
JJ the King of Beepers. If you're from the Valley and shit, you've been here long enough, you know JJ the King of Beepers. So I played on that, and it just kind of grew from there. And it's just a natural thing. It's my natural way of who I am. Like right now, I'm in an introverted way right now in this conversation. But again, like I said, anyone that knows me, I'm animated. So
Yeah.
the more the more we go with the show, the more it's gonna come out. So you'll see, it just comes natural. So thanks for even seeing that. I had a conversation just the other day about that. Like, well, how does that happen? Just want to see everybody win. If you're winning, I'm winning. If I'm winning, you're winning. You people watching at home and you right now. So just for you saying you're introverted, I wouldn't know that, bro. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I've worked on it over years.
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely that's my default status. I have an image of you burned into my mind of you wearing the camouflage jacket, because that's where I first saw you hosting, and every time I would go to a show that you were hosting, it seemed like, and I just made this up in my mind because I didn't know who was kind of associated with who, but I always saw a lot of the same folks around. You like Judgment,
That's right. That's
uh,
my brother right there. Shout outs to
Puritan.
Judgment. Puritan, that's my brother too.
There's another guy because I was going through old footage yesterday, and I don't know his name, and I should have showed you the footage ahead of time, but he's like this white guy. He's wears sunglasses all the time. He was always around that collective as well. He rapped as well.
Hmm.
I'll have to.
You have to show me after, and we'll just insert it later.
Yeah,
We'll do some edits and just insert right here.
yeah. There you go. But are you? I mean, other than me just sort of seeing these people in the same physical space consistently, were you guys a part of any sort of like working collective at all?
Well, the circle that I keep is very small, and those are the gentlemen you mentioned. Those are my brothers. I've known them forever. I'm part of a collective. I'm from an era where you get called into a crew because you, as an individual, is brings something to the table, right?
Yeah.
So, the camouflage jacket, right? That's from my brother Arlo Barone. Erel the architect, R.I.P. He started this. I known him before music, so that's how all that happened. Just being there. But the collectives that I keep, it's a small circle of brothers, of friends, of family, and that's just what we do. Respect to all my crews out there. Shout outs to y'all. Um, but just the people that you see is who it is.
Yeah.
You can't mistake it. Everyone brings something to the table. I'm very much valued on quality over quantity. I say that a lot. You know what I mean? So you bring your circle. For example, You know, there could be 17 people behind the scenes that you guys over there watching right now or listening at home or however you do this would think that there's here, but it does take a village, as you know, as both of you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, but yeah, that's how it happens. That's the small team. The team you see me with all the time, those are my brothers. We came up before music.
Okay. At what point did you start to take hip hop? Not that you never took hip hop seriously, but like at what point did you really lean into, being, you transition, I assume, a fan into an artist? What was that like for you?
That was a big leap of faith. You know, you got to believe in yourself first and foremost. You know you can do it, but then you got to really put words to action.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I've been writing and entertaining since like I was a kid.
Okay.
I'm a very funny, entertaining, comedic, natural on the fly kind of guy. So I've been doing this a long time, but seriously behind like the mic,
Yeah.
I would say somewhere with the Premonist. Shout outs to my brother, the Premonist. Um, Somewhere around like maybe early 2004.
Okay.
In between the TSOI signing, and like after the signing, somewhere in there, I really, really, really started taking it seriously. Like really secretly, I put together the first album. Nobody in the crew knew about it. Not a person, just me and Prem.
Okay.
We just created it. So, by 2006, it was official. And
Okay.
ever since then, it's just been a forever thing.
Okay. Another thing, I just wanted to kind of understand from your perspective. So I've been a fan of hip hop, for over 20 years. But as far as like trying to understand the Arizona scene, I'm really new to it. Relative to being a fan, how like have things sort of evolved or changed, since you've started doing what you're doing.
The only thing that has changed is time. I've lived here all my life, so just seeing the progress, it's always great. It's always just be able to look back at the eras before, and then to see where it's going now. It's great, but it's changed a lot. Music as a whole has changed,
Yeah.
right? Boom bap doesn't run the scene. That type of vibe isn't around, but the vibe that is around is great. So all I really can say about it is that with anything, it's evolving.
Yeah.
But you got to remember where you came from or where it came from to appreciate where it's at today.
Yep.
Because there's still elements of boom bap in music today. If you really listen,
Mm-hmm.
if we pull away from the no one's really rhyming, everyone's just in the moment, hype music. But didn't we have that before? It's there. It's just a new version. It's someone's new way. So
Yeah. Yeah. Anytime, it's funny because I see people argue on social media all the time about, like hip hop and, hip hop purists and all that stuff. And I remember someone was talking about, they were just kind of like critiquing artists with flashy aesthetic. Yeah. They were posting like these newer artists with like tight jeans and, certain aesthetics. But then I remember, watching like documentaries on Dr. Dre and NWA's come up.
yeah, Beastie Boys.
But I mean, Dr. Dre before NWA,
Oh, I know. Yeah,
you could
World
pull him.
Class Wrecking Crew and all that stuff.
He's wearing these flashy,
Mhm.
things. So, to your point, it's very easy to say like, hey, this has changed, or I don't like the way this is going. But it seems like there's been, the same sort of elements throughout the whole journey.
That's right. I mean, we're even flashier now, more gaudier chains.
Yeah.
But nothing against that. To each one who can attain those things, they depreciate the minute you purchase it,
Mm.
custom or not.
Yeah.
Is that diamonds? Is it now the topic is it natural? Is it lab made? Is it what's the other one? There's the one that looks like diamond, but it's not. It passes every test but the diamond test.
Cubic.
Moissanite.
Oh, okay.
Moissanite.
Okay.
Shout out to you Moissanite rappers out there. Um,
I'm always like,
but yeah, it's shiny. Before it was Adidas, right? Like Run DMC, my
yeah.
Adidas. All
Yep.
right. There's the blueprint of like how it started. Just trying, who's trying to get a deal, who's trying to get representation, who's trying to get some extra money by shouting out, what I'm saying, Icon Radio.
Yeah.
RTU. You know what I'm saying? PHX hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's been there. It's just a lot different now, and it's younger, but it's a young man's sport, right?
Yeah, I always hear people say, yeah, I watch a lot of rap interviews, and I always hear that comment. Yeah, it's a young man's sport.
But isn't it still, again, back to what I said, where you came from? Is not the answer, and I mean the answer. Number three, Allen Iverson. Is he still not relevant today in sports, in
Right.
basketball,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Whoever we have today in whatever league or whatever, wherever you want to be, that's cool. But don't forget X, Y, and Z before that.
Yeah. Yep.
So like you said, people argue about it, but it's like those are just opinions.
Exactly. Yep.
Shit's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Either move with it or you get run over.
In those sorts of like types of debates or discussions, another thing I see come up quite often is the comparison to rock music versus hip hop, as far as how people think of them as legends, right? Versus not legends, I guess. But I wonder, do you think is that changing? Because like last year, they had all the hype about the 50th anniversary of hip hop. You start to see more rappers kind of I don't know how to frame it, but they're more front and center, right? Like I think the first Grammys, like they didn't air, Will Smith
Right.
winning the first, or Fresh Prince, he went by, right? But then I heard KRS, he spoke on that, and he's like, like now you want to highlight, like it's too late. I don't, again, like you said, everyone has their own opinion. I don't claim to have a correct one or incorrect. What's your opinion on that, as far as, is hip hop changing in the sense of folks are respecting the legends like other genres?
It just depends on who you're asking, but you're asking me, again, my opinion. Hip hop's ever growing. Um, you don't have to like everyone in the past, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has their favorite Curtis Blow, because we can even go further. Curtis Blow, KRS-One, BDP, Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, the list goes on. But it's 50 years old. That's great, but it's great because they thought it was a facade. They thought it was a fad, that it was just going to wash over, because MTV was rock before hip hop. I remember that shit.
Yeah.
I grew up on that with the brown little box, and you had to change the channel like that. So anyways, it's good to see it getting recognized, but again, it's getting recognized in 2024, in the age of music, hip hop, quote unquote, that we're in today. Was Eminem gonna get it? Was Tech Nine gonna get it back then? Were they gonna do it then? No, but now somehow it works. It's all right, but people are gonna have their opinion. Like I said, I'm just neutral with it. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, it's cool. It's cool. I wasn't there in the beginning, but I'm young enough to I'm old enough to remember how it used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When Tribe Called Quest was new, when Wu-Tang was new, when Q-Tip did his thing on his own, when Dre was NWA, when it was Turn Off the Lights with World Class Wrecking Crew, like what was before is what we have now, just in one pot.
Yeah.
The music of right now, of how certain artists do it now. It's the flashy World Class Wrecking Crew, crazy Andre 3000 style, with elements of not hip hop and not music.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see hip hop doing its thing. But do you remember when hip hop was really in it in the movies? Like in the movies, like Crooklyn Drive. I could be naming the movie wrong, but remember when hip hop was in that shit? It was embedded in entertainment.
Yeah.
In entertainment as a whole. So Grammy's cool, but I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, Grammys get voted in because you bought into the program.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
The artist is part of the community, and the community votes on what person in the community is going to fucking win.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how is that even fair?
Right.
That's not people like you and me going yes and no. But hip hop been around.
Yeah.
It been around. It's there. Anyone in the age demographic of when hip hop was hip hop, they see it right now. It's everywhere. Look at fucking ¿cómo se llama? Marvel. Este way with the Walkman, Star-Lord.
Yeah.
And his eclectic mix. I mean, hip hop was, yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. So my son plays Fortnite, and
Okay.
I play with him, and you could drive a car in Fortnite, and you could basically turn on a radio in the video game, and I'll hear rap I listen to. I'll hear like Denzel Curry, and it's like, wow, it's like this isn't a kid's video game, right? So it's just kind of interesting to follow it, because when I was a kid, everything was very divided. There's like, hey, either you like rock music or you like rap music. And even within hip hop, I was like, listen to Wu Tang, and then my friend, I grew up in the South, and a lot of people were no, like No Limit and Cash Money. It's like people were very sort of segmented about it, right? But
Right.
now today it seems like much more, I guess, open, as far as people not expecting you to only listen to one specific type of music. That's just what I've seen. I don't know. Have you seen something similar? Or?
I would say an artist eclectic palette is more acceptable now because,
Okay.
like you said, I grew up in the same time. Well, what do you like? Fool, I grew up in a rock and Mexican music house. My neighbors listened to thrash metal. I had a Mexican homie right behind me with a full half pipe in the back. Diversity. So it's just you're seeing everyone's openness with it doesn't matter because it didn't matter to none of us, right? We still listen to what we listen to,
Yeah.
and we just knew those homies ain't gonna like it, so I ain't even gonna bring it up to them. We could talk thrasher, we could talk metal, we could talk rap, we could talk whatever, because it ain't just hip hop. We could talk music, whatever genre it is, but now there's just it's a blurred line of hip of a of a subgenre based around hip hop.
Okay.
That's kind of how I look at it. These are subdivisions of hip hop because they sprang from it.
Yeah.
You got Lil Wayne's has offshoots of Lil Uzi Vert
Mm-hmm.
and whoever, right? So it's cool, You got to be accepting, right? Isn't that part of being an artist is expressing yourself
Yeah.
fully?
Yep.
People that know you'd be like, damn, fool, you fucking tore it up right now. Híjole. You snapped on that one. Where was that at? I was mad one day.
Yeah.
You should do that more. That's a little different. And you're like, really? Has anyone ever told you that, where you're like, bro, how did you do that one thing that one time? And you're all, I was just in the zone. You just got to lock that shit in.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And
100%.
you'll figure it out. And that's what these fools do nowadays.
Yep.
There's a lot of different hip hop, but there's a lot of like culture now in music too. Like for me, right? I go between Cali and Texas and some other states, but Texas is really in that shit right now in music.
Okay.
To me,
I'm not dialed into it. What's
like
happening?
the country part of it.
Okay.
Whether we want to say it's country or that it's Texas, but the country of people's culture, right?
Yeah.
That are southern in that respect, right? It really shines in the music now, almost like how like 3-6 Mafia when they first came out, or Project Pat or like a Mike Jones when they just had the catchy shit,
Mm-hmm.
so culture. There's a lot of culture and diversity and just like this is me now. Deal with it
Yeah.
in music, so it's good. I like it.
I mean, we've been talking about a lot of like, old school or artists or pioneers. Who were your influences?
My influences. There's a lot, I got a diverse palette, I can have on Megadeth and then the next song is some like old school obscure Mexican band that no one ever heard of. I like to listen to stuff nobody listens to. It's just what I appreciate, but man, it's really hard to say. Just music in general. That's
Yeah.
my outlet.
Okay.
So just growing up as a kid and just listening to everything. Because like I said, I had like hardcore classic, all subdivisions of Spanish music in my house growing up. All kinds of real rock and metal. You know what I'm saying? Country, real country, real country. Not Taylor Swift or whatever, but
But you decide you as an artist, and I try not to like box people
yeah.
into certain songs, but as an artist, you would say like you are in the realm of hip hop, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely. I'm definitely in the realm of hip hop. I just let the listeners decide
yeah.
who I'm influenced by, because I'm influenced by everybody.
What was it about hip? So, as someone that appreciated and still appreciates so many different genres of music and art in general, what was it about hip hop that you gravitated towards?
Just the beat, the rhythm, the my mind just going. I can't tell you how many times I listened to an album without listening to it because my mind wouldn't shut off.
Okay.
And it's because the beat. And and I'd be like, what? Hold on, what did I miss here? I'm supposed to be listening to this shit right here, and I'm over here in my head making up rhymes. That's the best part of it
Yeah.
for me. It's really hard to say, man. Like, it's hip hop. Hip hop was there all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can't point it on. I can't honestly tell you one. It's all of it. It's everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That answer your
Yeah.
question to
Yeah.
some degree, right?
Yeah. What was the first thing you made music wise as an artist that you were really proud of or excited about?
I went to Maryville High School, right, in like 94, 96, 96. My homie Sickness, a couple of the homies from Swan and Colorblind were there at school at Maryville, right, at lunchtime. There was always a hip-hop jump-off, right, always at lunchtime. And Bushwick, he was always getting down. The homies were always getting down, right? So I penned something, and I spit it. I didn't win because you can't win them all, right? But you got to go in there. You got to go in for the fight because it don't matter win or lose. You went in. So I went in and did my thing, and that was the first time I ever stepped out into that light in high school during lunchtime. I know that's probably something that's said in time, but, this is without the drum beat. This is just straight a cappella. Let's go. It's comedy hour. I'm about to bag on you and everything you ain't. So it was good. I went in for one round, lost, but me and the homie Sickness, we became tight that day. So a lot of good things always come out of hip hop, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this moment right now, this is dope, bro. I'm telling you, the studio's sick.
Yeah, man.
I like it. Thank you, man.
Oh yeah. Hey, and genuinely, it's a pleasure to have you. I think sometimes people, I don't know if people understand what I mean when I say like I'm a nerd about this stuff, but like I would talk to you on the phone about hip hop for an hour, right? It's like
Yeah.
I really appreciate the art form. So just being able to have these conversations, it's
To have a
it's privilege.
space, bro. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. To have a platform like this to just talk about it. Because I know what you mean about being a nerd. I've been a nerd about this shit forever. I would look on the back of album covers. Who engineered it? Who mastered it? What studio? Who's the producer? Who's the co-producer? And I go look for shit. I remember in the LimeWire era, I used to grab everything.
LimeWire, yeah, wow, I forgot
Bro,
about LimeWire.
remember we used to only get our hip hop from the source or Double XL or Beat Up or any of them, magazines and stuff. And look
Yeah.
where we're at today.
Yeah, dude. I used to. Okay, so I probably no one will even remember this, but there was this toll-free number in the '90s where you could call and listen to basically a 10-second sample of different music. And so this is like 1995. Like I'm a young kid, but this is pre-internet, right? So
Right.
I would read about artists, and I listen to rock and metal as well. So I read about artists in different magazines, but I had no idea what they sounded like. You know what I mean? I couldn't
Right.
just, it wasn't accessible. So I would call this 800 number and, do the little, buttons to spell out the name just to listen to a 20-second sample. So I know what this band called Helmet sounds like that I see t-shirts and, imagery.
Plastered everywhere, right?
Yeah. And so, it's, I don't even know how I got on that point at this now, but, yeah.
Because you're a nerd for this, bro. and you would go seek it out. If you didn't know, that's what you.
Right, the
That's what I'm
magazines.
hearing.
That's right. You mentioned the magazines. Yeah, the magazines. Yeah, and so now it's, and I don't, I'm sounding like an old person now, but people, it seems like people take it for granted, so much now, where you could listen to anything at any time. If you would have told, like, if you would have told 10-year-old me, like, hey, there's gonna be a time, like, whatever song you want to listen to, you could just open up a thing and listen to whenever. I'm like, okay, that doesn't make sense, right? But now
Why? I have tapes here. I got it all here. I got my
yeah.
CDs and tapes.
So now, I mean, and then, as a fan, I'm in like a, golden era, right? As artists, though, I always see people talk about, well, it's a low barrier to entry, and now like everything's saturated, and so I don't see the downside in the sense, like, I respect creative expression, whether or not I like someone's art or not. I respect the vulnerability it takes to put your art out. But I want to ask you, as someone that creates multiple forms of art, how do you view that?
How do I view what? Just putting out the art, or like what's
Is it a problem that, like, would you think it's saturated and diluted because there's so many people doing it, so it's hard to stand out? Is that a negative thing in any way?
um not so much negative. Yeah, there's a lot out there, but everyone's specific to what they're looking for. Just because there's a million versions of how to do something, uh, insert title here, you know what I mean, and then watch it, doesn't mean like it's oversaturated if you don't know what you're looking for. Yes.
Okay.
If you know what you're looking for, like, Matty Matheson, right? That's one of the dudes that I watch a lot. He's a funny dude. He's a chef. He was on The Bear. I'm sure you might know who he is. So
Yeah. Yep.
he's a funny dude, right? He cooks. He's dope as shit. And I watch him. I'm like, And as long as you know what you're looking for, it's not oversaturated. But you can't really shoot the person in the foot for trying. All those people out there trying, they're creatively trying to start something like this right here, like what you're doing. Not everyone has the resources to do this right here, like in this space that you are, but everyone has this space. If you really think about it, if you really put your time and effort into it, all this space is here for you. We can glitz and glamour this up on AI, CGI, backscreen, no sé qué, whatever it's called. I don't do that. But expressing, that's all that they're doing. There's a lot of expression out there now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's another way to look at it. Not you, but just just think about it like that. Everyone's got a lot of expression.
Yeah.
And everyone got a lot of explaining to do. There's a what is the term? How does it go? There's a million ways to do something. Nah, homie, there's 1,000,001.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know those ways. I just know mine.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's good. It's good to see people wanting to be photographers. It's good to see people wanting to do podcasts. It's good to see people wanting to be influencers. It's good to see people being people, uplifting people, because that's the shit that I'm doing. That's I do whatever it is that I'm doing on social media and people catch it. I'm just trying to uplift somebody else's day, because my shit's all fucked up. You got to go through the ugly shit, so I'll go through the ugly shit and present the dope shit so that people can go through the dope shit, and then I get inspired by them. Not them being inspired by what I did, but by watching. You're humble as fuck. You're introvert, and I wouldn't know it. I'm like, damn, full shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's things like that. Those are inspirations. You can't expect shit from genuinely giving out to the world, right? I got my receipt. I'm still waiting for it. Hello, universe. I've given back to X, Y, and Z. I still ain't got my ABCs back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Long story short, it's cool. Expression.
Yeah.
Everyone's expression is cool. You just got to know what you're looking for and know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or what you're talking about, or what your overall goal is, right? So it's good to see. I don't really judge people. I'm not here to judge people. That's not my job. There's enough of it going on already.
Yeah.
You're just gonna be another layer to the judging. What for? That's just there to distract you.
Yep. I want to touch on something you just said, and my takeaway, we're like, hello universe, I'm waiting, I'm waiting for
Yeah.
this thing. It kind of made me think about, folks waiting and feeling entitled to things. And there's a old quote I like. It's if opportunity doesn't knock, then build a door. You as an artist, I see you as someone who, like, I see you out hosting the shows, as I mentioned. I see the visuals you're putting together. You have mentored me on video editing, right?
Right. Right.
So just shout out right now for that. I
No, you're
appreciate you.
welcome, man. And again, I get that from my homies, the real videographers like Jimmy Nelson, the homie behind Give Me Five, with Miranda and shit.
Hmm.
Shout outs to Miranda. Shout outs to my brother Jimmy Nelson. I did. Thank you for mentioning that. But like, they're the guys. They're the pros. I'm just inspired by them
Yeah,
to what I said. But thank you for even reaching out, to taking the time to even ask me, to even take any of the input that I gave you. Because that right there was to show you that that's how genuine people should be in life, with no expectations back. You know what I'm saying? There's an entitlement, like you said, that there's an underlying quiet thing that happens of where you're waiting and sitting back and going, all right, I fix cars. Just ask the fucking question. Can you fix my car? Don't BS me with a bunch of jargon. Oh, how you been? Nah. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But with what we've done in our communications, and then me thinking back when I've seen you, and then seeing you yesterday, right? Just doing what I do. You got to real life do this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because when you're looking at it on your phone like this, you're like, well, homie's doing it. But then when you're in the same room doing what you do, doing what I do, and we get to cross platform, that's a good part.
Yeah.
You know? I didn't mean to cut you off in what you said, but it's very moving. That's the shit that matters right there, the human part.
Yeah.
Where you're like, yeah, fool, I asked you for some input. And I'm no pro. I'll be like, I don't know shit. Have you made scalloped potatoes and something, whatever? No, I don't make beats either, but I know what my ear likes. So,
Yeah.
I'm glad that those things can help you. I hope I've seen what you've been doing, and it's been going bigger. I see your angles right here. Where's the other one? Over there and right there.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. Yeah, and something you said, right? You're like, hey, I'm paraphrasing, but
Right.
you pointed to other folks that were, editing video and stuff like that, and then I'm getting something from you, and it reminds me just how it's just the way I view life in general. Everything is connected, right? Everything is interdependent.
Right.
And sometimes it feels like we look at things as like in conflict or different or separate, right? In this room, there are people that I go to shows and like, nah, I don't like to deal with this one entity or this or that. But it's like, well, they're giving me the platform to you know help give more exposure, right? So I personally, it's kind of a shame where folks don't really look at everything as related and connected. I don't know how you feel about that, or if that question even makes sense. But what are your thoughts on sort of like, I, you know, things influencing people, and you may not even know where that influence came from? Does that make any sense? Kind of where I'm going with
I
that?
think I know what you're asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, more or less, like, is it okay that people are influenced and kind of run with something they saw somewhere else to some degree? But like,
Or like, do you think people understand? Because from my perspective, it doesn't seem like people understand that this stuff is all connected.
yeah,
In
it's
a
a
sense, right?
community.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
community. That's
Yeah,
a better way to
there's
put it.
unity. Like I said, there's unity in community.
Yeah.
So it's all the same. If people can't get along or whatever, you can't be in the same room. Don't be in the same room.
Yeah.
If that's not the energy, don't be there. Um, it's really hard to say. I'm a believer that it's all intertwined.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about. Everything's intertwined. It's like that whole image of the human ladder, right? You pick someone up, you lift them up, they lift you up. It's all connected. This doesn't just happen by hope and chance.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But just as quick as something negative can mess it up is the same thing though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody can throw a wrench in the whole program and it messes it up completely.
Yep.
And that's the part that don't make sense.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I like it all just neutral and everyone work and, you know, work with the things that you know how to work, right? If you got a system, you make it work.
Yeah.
And then you give influence and advice to others. Even when they don't ask, you just go, hey, try this, try that. But when it falls on deaf ears, it's like, all right, then it's cool. So, no, you know, I think it's what it is.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Everyone can think what they want. And I know, humbly, it's a working system for me. It all works.
Yeah.
You know, people are open to have opinions.
Yep.
You got to listen and receive them, but you don't have to agree. You don't have to attend. You don't have to watch. You don't have to listen. You don't have to support. You don't have to buy. You don't have to share. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those that don't believe that it's an interconnected system already express it isn't. And those that do, you see it working. It's the human ladder, if you will.
Yeah. No, you said that much better than I did. Can you tell me a little bit? You know, I saw I shared it as well, the video, one of your visuals for the Norman Demented project. Yeah.
Yep. Shout outs to the premise for that one. That guy is a genius, man. Me and him been doing work since I already told you, like 04, early 2000s in the fucking Soldier Boy area or whatever. But Norman Demented, like you were saying, yes.
Yeah, I just want to know more about your inspiration for that. Like as a fan, when I, you know, listen and watch that, like it reminds me of, and again, I try not to throw out genres, but like I just have frames of references, right? So
that's cool.
As a
share.
Frame of reference, when I was, you know, a teenager, there's a subgenre of hip hop called horrorcore, right?
Okay.
And there's like Psycho Realm. I don't know if you know Psycho Realm.
Yeah, that's the homie. Shout outs to Sick Jack, and that fool put us on TSOI. He put us on a track back in the day.
So kind of those types of styles, you know, that was my frame of reference for, you know, when I saw, you know, what you put together. But I just want to know more about, you know, from a creative aspect, what inspired that project. Because it sounds like you almost have like a persona as part of that project, right?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I said, I leave it to the listeners, right? The listeners get to interpret what it means. But Norman Demented, I've been on a visual and art, audio, if you will, quest lately on a few albums. All those albums like The Sacred Order, Death in a Minor Key, those are all conceptual albums. So Norman Demented is a conceptual album just based around, long story short, we're all a little crazy inside, right? Everyone got a little crazy. Everyone will fly off the handle because they're under a lot of pressure, whatever their pressures are in life, right? So it's just an homage to Alfred Hitchcock.
Okay.
It's an homage to the city. You know, it's an homage to a very popular movie character, the one character that all characters are somewhat in time based from. So, you know, if you don't,
you talking about that Psychos or something?
There you go. Bing, bing, bing. Yeah. But yeah, that's what it is. It's an homage to Psycho, to Alfred Hitchcock, to Norman Bates. We're all a little crazy. We might not have his crazy and why he's crazy, but everyone is crazy. I could tell you I am. I'll fly off the handle. So that's what that is. It's conceptual visual art representation. You know, my wife, shout out to my wife. She's my other half, literally behind the camera, you know. I map it all out because I'm probably ADHD and I got all these ideas and I talk to her when we just shoot it and go. I know what I'm looking for, and I realize in my travels with other amazing real videographers and real directors, right, that no one can get inside your head.
Right.
No one sees the thing you're telling them to shoot because they're talking in professional and you're talking mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
So I just took it in my own hands, literally. Now, you know, mind you, I'm not a purist and I don't shit on purists of any form, whether you're a turntablist that still uses vinyl and doesn't want to do the Serato way or whatever ways are out there. Same thing goes with the people that use cameras. The real shit, right? No, the real shit. I use a phone and an external hard drive, and we shoot it. So that's to say, all this happened because I just wanted to give a conceptual representation of letting go of crazy.
Got it.
You got to let it go, but literally let it go. You got to let it out, right? So this is just a variant version of Psycho.
Okay.
But you get to listen to it and watch it at the same time. Me and Prem put that together. We were doing some other things, and I let those things boil and do what they do, and then once that was already settled, Norman Demented and everything else that comes behind it, So, yeah, we're all a little crazy. Embrace it. It's all right. Just don't do crazy shit. You can watch my videos, and you can go through the crazy shit with me. I got another video dropping here pretty soon. Stay on the lookout. The shit don't stop.
What's the song? What song?
It's the next song. If you don't know what the next song is, it's the next song after Conquer Within. You can go to my Bandcamp and check for the Norman Demented project. That's the next song. It's gonna be dope. Catchy little hook.
Let me ask you. You just made a really interesting point. You're like, hey, you can experience crazy through through my art, right? How do you feel about there's the idea of like expressing the human condition, which is everything, right? It's aggression, there's hate in the human condition,
Right.
There's selfishness, and that's there's something to be said about expressing that in art, and then there's also folks that think like, hey, this thing encourages some sort of behavior, right? How do you feel about those two ends of the spectrum?
The form of expression that I can speak for myself. The form of expression I'm talking about is not to be violent, but to show through visual and life experience that it doesn't help. It's not good. But you have to know right from wrong, right? You can't blame music.
Right.
Music don't possess. That's like that whole Marilyn Manson, Eminem thing back in the day, or even way before that, Two Live Crew, misogyny.
Yeah.
Remember, they were breaking CDs, but all those CDs were accounted for. So
Black Sabbath even before that, right?
Exactly, right? So everyone's been hit with that stigma, but it's up to the listener to know the difference. If the listener, let's just say they're not all right in their head, well, hey, come on. But you can't blame it on the music.
Yeah.
You can't blame it on, you're not that naive, I don't think humans are that naive. It's just sometimes people want to blame a certain kind of music. Like you said, horrorcore, right?
Yep.
A second ago, horrorcore is only this, that, and the third. Not really. I've come across some pretty dope artists where I'm like, are you sure you're not hip-hop? Like hip-hop, hip-hop? Super lyrical like hip-hop? But, so it's what it is. You're always going to have judges out there. People that don't want it to win. People don't want you to win. When you're winning, they don't want you to win. So it's each their own, to each their own. That's all I can really say.
How long does it take you to put together the visuals that you put together? Because you and I have talked about. I'm just early in my journey with video editing, and I know you have your wife supporting you as well. But what does that look like as far as how long? Because it looks like it would take a long time.
I mean, it does take time. I'm very so I have an unorthodox style all the way around, and I see it and I just go for it.
Okay.
I'm a doer of things getting done. I say that a lot. That's another shirt I'm gonna have out pretty soon. I'm a doer of things getting done. Like, you got to just get it done. Like if you ever came up in graffiti, you would just doodle on a paper all the time. And I would doodle all the time. Doodle, until I was done. So, it's a long, extensive process. I think about it. What am I trying to come across? How am I going to edit it? Over time, I've learned to shoot in a manner that I'm only gonna use. I'm making sure the shot's there. Anything extra I could use later, but I'm trying to get all my shots in at the right time. I'm very cinematic in my mind with what I'm trying to create all the way around. So it's time consuming. It is, like you're saying, but it's just what's your overall message?
Yeah.
How are you entertaining the viewer and listener?
Okay.
Because with audio edits, you can really chop things up and just get the meat and potato, and it's still going to be great.
Yep.
Same thing you can do visually. So it's really what your message is, and you got to put time and effort into everything. It doesn't matter how much you have stacked. That just means you have work. And if you have a good work ethic, you'll see that through. And when you're done with that pile, you're gonna have another fucking pile waiting for you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You just got to go at it. Ain't nobody gonna do it for you but you.
Yeah.
And those that are supporting you, right? The people behind the scenes.
Yep.
I'm a big shout outs to the people behind the scenes all the time.
Yeah.
It takes a village.
Yep.
It takes a fucking village.
Yeah. That's something I've learned, over the years. Like whenever I see something, like I see the output, I know there's so much more behind that, external facing output. I want to ask you, so before we started recording here, you're talking a little bit about your origin, as far as, your name, right? DoneOne TheFinisher. It started as your graffiti tag, was that correct?
Yeah. Shout outs to my crew in Maryville, Outrage Click, 675. You know what time it is. Dubbed DoneOne TheFinisher. Back then in the 90s, it was a big, like El De Sensei, or when a MC or a tagger had a name and a little sub tag on it. That's what DoneOne TheFinisher is. It sounds crazy, right? DoneOne TheFinisher, because I get shit done.
Yeah.
Anything I do, I know it's inside me, just like I hope everyone knows it's inside them to get things done. It's inside you. You got all the answers inside. Just get it done. So coming up, I was out in the streets with the homies, and we'd get into all kinds of stuff. Shout outs to my homie Doper, big DMS crew, you know what I'm saying, in Maryville. Shout outs to all of them demons out there. Shout outs to my 59th Hunter Block Maryville homies. We would just be out there, and then we'd be out late night being fools, acting a fool all the time, and I'd be writing rhymes and doing little freestyle kind of things, right? Because again, I'm unorthodox, and some of the homies would be like, yeah, okay. And then my homie Sickness would pull up and be like, damn, fool, you really do rap now. Okay. So I was really adamant about getting something together, but I was like, well, who am I going to be? I was scratching my head. What's my MC name going to be? What? How the fuck does this work? Because I'm not an understudy of anybody. Nobody taught me to rap.
Okay.
I didn't have someone go, hey, because it was a thing almost introvertedly that I kept to myself. I don't share my shit. I don't. So one day it just hit me on the top of my head. I'm DoneOne TheFinisher. What do you mean? What's my name? Hi, my name is DoneOne TheFinisher. That's right. That's me. So that's how it came to be, and everyone knew me. Like I would have names so I was slang mixtapes, like I said, LimeWire, Napster days.
Yeah. I
would slang mixtapes at my local liquor store, RJ Liquors on 59th Avenue in Indian School. That's not a shameless plug. I would sell mixtapes there and be like, mixtape. I need this and that. Here you go. So that's how I would do that. But DoneOne TheFinisher, that's how that became to be. Tag name, my crew, and then my TSOI, Society of Invisible crew, because I know Arlo in the early days before music, so he knew me then. So he's like, this fool, you've been DoneOne TheFinisher ever since, because I get shit done, because I'm a doer of things getting done. So say it with me.
This is where I, like if I was a real host, I'd be like, talk to him.
You are a fucking real host. You're a real fucking host. Hey, don't forget, Phoenix Hip Hop Fest is going down April 13th, all right? You need to be there. I just want to remind y'all while we're here before we get into that one part. But yeah, you are a real host. You're a real good co-host, even though you guys behind in camera world, you don't know who I'm talking to, but it takes a village.
I know
you're a real host.
I know you have a hard stop here. We're running out of time, but just real quick, I'm sort of biased because I go to Trill all the time, and I see graffiti, right? But is graffiti is it like a dying art form?
Nah, fool.
Okay.
Nah. It's art, like you said. It's an art form.
Yeah.
You know, if anything, if we were to talk about graffiti and you'd ask me all those questions about hip hop 50-year anniversary before this, I would have said graffiti is where it's at, because graffiti is where it started for me. So it's never a dying thing,
Okay.
because we're still here. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to SAR, TMB, Big SAR. You know what time it is, OG. Um, he's a New York legend. Like, if you ever watched the John Travolta, John Gotti movie, John Travolta playing Gotti is driving in SAR from TMB's Cadillac. I just wanted to put that out there. So graffiti is not a dying art, because that was another thing that people were like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? How is Basquiat in worth in art museums, right? And how are they not calling it art? You know what I'm saying? That's one form, but graffiti is never gonna die.
Okay.
I know this young Canadian dude, that fool gets down. I know an older OG that gets down. And I don't know of all the other people out there in graffiti land that are doing what they do, putting the fame.
I have to. There's a guy I've been talking to about getting on the podcast. I just want to shout him
Yeah.
out. I'm gonna. Sorry, keep
Do
going.
that. Don't do that. Shout out the homie. That's what this is about.
Make sure I get his name
You
correct.
do that. That's what time it is. You got to give everyone their flowers and their respect. You know, shout outs to you for making this platform happen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, on
I
Instagram
appreciate
he
you.
goes by Coach Doe.
Okay, Coach Doe. Okay.
But yeah, I plan to have him on to just to talk graffiti.
Hell yeah, bro. That's gonna
So
be dope.
shout
I
out
do
Coach
like your
Doe.
platform, bro. It's diverse. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more than just hip hop. Hip hop is part of a culture and element that's bigger than that. Graffiti, DJs. You know what I'm saying? Artists. It all ties in that this is art and we're all artists. You're an artist. Right now, this is your art form. You're an artist. Look what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Y'all are artists out there. You just got to accept it and put it out there, because expression is needed in this world. You know what I'm saying? I thank you
Yeah.
for having me here, bro. And I heard there's some things that go on, like at the end of the show. Like, just to be honest with you, I don't really do that, but I'm going to do it today. I don't know what it consists of, other than let your mind go and then the word shall speak. So,
Okay. So you're yeah.
so
you're up
let's do it. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to Icon Radio. Shout outs to RTU Worldwide Radio.